What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I will be going through all of the tracks I've been to this year and ranking them from basically worst to best. So I have different tiers. Mostly it will just be in order, but there will be slightly different tiers from here and where. Some of the tracks on this list I don't have in kart footage due to either how the track didn't allow it or I just didn't bring my camera. So yeah, let's do this for this Christmas special. So this is how we will be ranking it. We'll have D tier, C, B, A and S tier. Of course I won't show you where they are, like from now on I won't show this screen again, but I'll just show on screen what tier they're basically going to be in. So yeah, let's hop into the first karting track in D tier. So in last place is Rogue Leisure. Now this is in Aylesbury, if you didn't know already. Now it is next to a bowling alley and it's quite confined, so they didn't have a lot to work with anyway, but I'm just going off of what I think. So it's quite a small track. Turn 1, you go. It's basically a small left-hander as you go up a ramp. Then you go down. Then you do a left-hander. You go down a hill. Then there's a weird elevation change into a hairpin. Now this hairpin is like is basically 180-degree hairpin. It's like the most hairpin kind of thing you could have. And then you head under with a quick chicane, then you right-hander, then you follow by another chicane, followed by a right, then left onto a diagonal straight towards the line. So yeah, the problem with this track is the karts are quite restricted. You can't really go anywhere near the maximum speed of these karts, and there's not really many overtaking opportunities. If you're in quite a big league race, you can't really overtake. It's all about your qualifying pace. So yeah, that's why I'm putting Rogue Leisure at the bottom in D tier. I'd also say that the facilities are actually quite good. The facilities, the cost is actually quite good. It's just you're not getting that much racing experience. So yeah, let's move on to the next track. So, starting C tier is Team Sport Hull. Here's the layout for you. So the reason why I've put it in C tier is I've only actually gone here once this year. This was when I wasn't as experienced as I am now in karting, but I didn't have a lot to go off of. That's why it's in C tier. If I'd have been more regular at this track and more that I could go off of, it would have been higher up. So I'm going to start with bad sort of things, and then I'll go on to the good things. First, the bad thing is the bottom floor is it's mixed different parts of the track. So in one part you've got like this concrete with like dents and dips in it. And then you've got one part with the sort of bricks that are like separated, not just a normal like bricky floor, which sometimes can cause like bumps and knocks, which can usually put you off. And then you've got that complete switch onto the slippery surface on the top section that most electric tracks have. Also, it's quite a short track. They have made it like really well for the short space. Overtaking opportunities, not very many, but I'd say the layout is actually okay. So, as you can see, you're going to start, you start on an apex pretty much. You go right up the ramp, then it's another right, followed by a bit of a hairpin which cuts back in, down the down ramp, left-hander, then you go basically a sort of chicane into a hairpin, run back round, then you're going to go into a right-hander, and then you're going to come back round onto the start-finish line. That's a lap of Hull. Another small disadvantage of this track is that there's no boost button. So it kind of means that you can't have the freedom to get that extra speed boost as well, which is quite annoying. So, moving on to the better things, I'd say the facilities are really, really good. The people there are great, because when I was originally there, I was on the verge of basically going. I was old enough to go into the adult karts, but I wasn't basically. They didn't know what to put me in, and they allowed me to go in the adult karts, and I was able to have so much more fun than going in the cadet karts. They have the parting, in game that you can do there. That's really, really fun. So and yeah, the people there were just really nice. So yeah, let's move on to the next track. So this one could be very, very, very controversial, but the next track is Rye House. So I will get on to why it's in C tier in a second. Of course, Rye House is known for how it's had drivers that have come up like Lewis Hamilton to be amazing drivers from karting at this track. But here's where the problem starts. The parity of karts in the junior section is horrible. and they haven't really changed anything. When I went there for a junior development day in the summer, I was given a kart that was so bad, I was 3 seconds off the pace, and then the one that I had in my final was even worse. So it was not good at all. So yeah, but when I went separately on a 30-minute arrive and drive, I was in a kart that was amazing, and I blitzed the rest of the pack by 2 seconds. The parity is so bad at the track that I had to put it as low as basically B tier. But then the next thing that basically makes it a little bit too worse is for karters like people like me at the age of 14, when you want to have those better karts, like those karts there are very, very slow. The kart track is just too big for those karts to handle. So yeah, that's the reason why it's in C tier, but then I'll get on to now why it isn't any lower. So these are the good things about the place. Of course, it's amazing for higher classes. Like, the track layout is so good. Like, the teams there for like the other sides of karts, like not the junior side, it's amazing. They have some insane endurance races. It's a great track. And yeah, it flows really well with the higher 4-stroke, I think, karts that they have with the 2 engines. So yeah, pretty good track. Let's move on to the next one. So, next on my list is Team Sport Watford. As you can see, here is the layout. You guys have seen a couple videos from me here, and to be fair, I kind of like this track. I kind of think it's pretty good. I think it's got variety. It's got good overtaking spots, and it's got the boost button as well, which most likely makes it really, really good. So the downsides I'll start on. The downsides is in the downstairs section, it gets very, very difficult with controlling the car. It's most likely too slippery. It's like that sort of surface that is horrible for people to race on. That basically causes it already to be down and beat it. But there isn't really much else that's wrong about it. I guess there could be a few more overtaking opportunities, because it is quite tough because there isn't like quite a long straight. The lap time is pretty good. It's not too long, not too short. And yeah, the kart parity is okay. I mean, sometimes I've seen that certain karts apparently are better than others. It's like sort of mid. The parity, I've heard it can be bad, can be good. I've heard it from different people. But at the same time, it's quite an easy track to learn. So I think it's a pretty good track. You guys have seen me go to this track before. Definitely be going back soon. So, let's quickly run through the lap. The lap has just started as you go down the hill. The boost button you can activate there, but you don't have to. Of course, it's your opportunity. Then you head into right-hander, followed by right-hand hairpin. Very slippery now onto this surface. You're going to be headed for the second sort of apex. This was basically one of my first runs at this lap. Then you're going to come back round for the hairpin, get a good run. You're going to come back out, ready. This is another headed for the second apex. Then running down. And then it's a hairpin before the up ramp, where you use that boost button. As you can see, you used it there. Then it's a little bit of a left-hander. Then you're following down. Head for the second sort of part through here. Cut back round. And then, of course, I was following someone here. But then it's a left-hander. And then, yeah, back to the start of the lap. So, overall, I think it's a pretty good track. I mean, to be fair, it does have some pretty good facilities. It's got this other little game. It doesn't have the putting. It doesn't have like the mini golf course, but it does have another little game that you can play there as well. Of course, like any other team sport, it has a bar and everything. So yeah, pretty good track. Let's move on to the next one in B tier. So, the final track in B tier, as you can see, formulafast. Maybe a tad controversial, but here's why. So, everything that makes it so amazing. The facilities, beautiful. The people there, beautiful. The kart parity, they are new karts, and they're really cool new karts. The kart parity used to be amazing. Now, bit mid, but I'm going off of before because they're really new and they haven't had time to tune them up to the same sort of pace. And yeah, it has got one of the most popular British karting series in the UK. It's got the BRKC, a wicked championship. Now, here's why it isn't any higher. For me, I've only been there a couple of times, and when I've been there, I haven't really got the full thing out of it. Like, I find that it's quite difficult to overtake. It's a great track for consistency, but if you want overtaking, it's not the greatest track for overtaking. So yeah, it's great for learning that consistency and getting that good lap time in, but if you've got other people on the track with you that are about your same pace, you're just not getting past them. Anyway, let me take you through a lap. So here we go. This is basically what we call the snail. You're going to be coming round, you're going to be kind of drifting around, then you're going to be cutting back in, getting the car turned around. That's when you've completed the snail. This is now full throttle around this whole part of the track. You're going to be trying to go for the shortest line possible through here. I still haven't got this next part nailed, but you're going to brake later, get yourself round, you're going to head back round here, and then you're going to brake for the left-hander, and yeah, that's a lap of Formula Fast. So yeah, I've only been here a couple of times, which is probably why it's a little bit lower down. When I maybe go a little bit more times, it will probably be higher up the list. Maybe you could say next year. But let's move on to A tier. So, the first track in A tier, Team Sport Dunstable. You guys know it. You've seen it multiple times on the channel. I've been so much more than you guys have seen. I've got hours of footage that I could use, but I'm using it in the right times at the right places. But yeah, here we go. This is my main karting track. I know a few other people that is their main indoor karting track, and yeah, I've got so much experience here that recently I've just shown my PB. That is a 37.560. Really quick lap, top 100 lap time. And yeah, the reasons why it is basically an A tier is it's got so much corner variety. It's got everything you need. It's got like medium speed corners. It's definitely got some low speed corners, absolutely. And it's got some high speed corners, such as the double right hander in the top. There's also quite a few overtaking opportunities as well. It's better than some other team sport tracks that are quite more difficult to overtake with. Now, why it isn't in S tier, the kart parity. That's the one thing it is. The kart parity. The kart parity is quite bad. I usually get asked by the race academy instructor quite a lot just to basically go out, and he uses me as the person to just see how the karts are most of the times, because I go back saying maybe like a steering angle's bent and that could be changed. And yeah, that's the problem with it. It's just the parity of the karts, how that they can be at least 2 seconds apart. So yeah. Also, open sessions as well can sometimes be very, very hectic. But yeah, overall, pretty good track. So, here's a lap of Team Sport Dunstable. Let's go. So you're going to brake. First corner, of course, it's a hairpin, then followed by another hairpin. Got to get a good exit out of here. Then it's going to be followed by right-hander, then another right-hander. Slight lift off so you don't go into the barrier on the exit. Then it's the hairpin for the setup. Up the ramp. This is where weight advantage is insane, if you haven't already seen some stuff. Then into the left-hander. Then cut back round, ready for probably my favourite corner on the track, the double right-hander. Head for the second apex, cut back round, onto the down ramp, push yourself down, through the final corner, perfect apex, and up to the line. Now, if you haven't already seen my detailed track guide, go have a look at that, and my PB, which shows basically how my best ever lap was. So yeah, that was Team Sport Dunstable, my home track. Now, let's move on to the final track in A tier. So, this one might be surprising, guys. You haven't seen a video come out yet. That's because I couldn't film on my helmet. But I do have some videos that I'm going to try and make into a video, but sort of not. But I'll put some in this. It's Kart Silverstone, the new karting track that isn't actually officially open until March next year. But I went with Brad Philpott for an event where actually you can go and do some races over the sort of the Christmas period, only on their international layout, which was still so much fun. I did the first ever race in the wet for me, and I was having so much fun. It was perfect. The karts were literally the best they could be. They were perfect for the layout. The layout was beautiful. It was literally connecting onto the old track. It literally went on the old track at one point. yeah, it couldn't get any better than what it was already. And I guess the only reason why it's not in S tier is because I've only been there once, and I guess I haven't been in the dry. I can't really test the full layout yet, so I wouldn't know if it's actually better or worse. But either way, what a track. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the lap. It's actually, you start at the bottom where the actual real lap on the GP circuit would start. Then instead of going the whole way along the straight, you'd cut off, you'd go left, you'd go up. Then you'd carry quite a lot of speed round into a chicane, which would take you down to a great elevation change corner, which is the hairpin. Then you'd cut back round, go up the hill. You'd cut back round into sort of like a snaily section, like in Formula Fast, where you'd go round. You do a right-hander followed by a left-hander. Then you would run down, do a left-hander, and you'd be back on the main straight to finish the lap. So these are the sort of conditions I was in. As you can see, turn 1 was where by the building was. It was quite a fast corner. Then I would actually put myself quite far at the back, so I wanted to learn off everyone. Then I found out we were kind of doing a bit of a race, so I had to come from as far back as possible. As you can see, there was quite a lot of people. There was a bit of a gap that had formed here because I didn't know when we were going. And yeah, there I am, just there, in kart number 19. Absolutely. Then you'd run down through the chicane before you'd head down to the corner down there. There was a yellow flag because of an incident, and then you'd cut back round to the top. So this was later on in the race when I was fighting for, this was currently P10. my dad had the camera a little bit low there. But yeah, we're now going to show you the other half of the lap. This was me fighting for P10 onwards. I did end up finishing in P7, but this is the last video he recorded. So then we disappear for a second, but you'd come back around up the top. Then you'd follow a right-hander before, like I said, you'd come into the snail up here. You'd cut back round for another hairpin, and then it'd just be a left-hander, and you'd be back on the main straight. Overall, it was so much fun. Really good, considering they haven't even finished half of the track yet, and they're still showing some of it off to some people. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. And now we're on to the final track in S tier. Can you guess what it is? So, here we are. The final track. Daytona, Milton Keynes. The video is not out yet. I'm sorry. I went in September for basically a birthday race sort of thing after my actual Watford one. This was on the weekend. Because I could turn 14 and I could go in the Sodies, I am producing the video soon after Christmas. I'm sorry it's late. I'll be showing you some clips. But yeah, here we are, the S tier track. I assume you guys know why it is at the top. It has got some of the fastest karts you can drive as rental in the UK. And for a 14-year-old, you can get quite quick speeds as just a rental in the Sodies. And I feel like, for me, that was amazing. It was a great jump, and it flowed really well with the Sodies. Even when I went with my dad, he beat me because he'd been there so many times. But I was just getting used to it. I've been there. So yeah, I actually did pretty well. I really enjoyed it. Going like 50 miles an hour on the back straight. It was really, really good. I'd say the layout is amazing. The kart parity is alright for those karts, I think. The D-Maxes I've heard is a little bit different, but I'm just going off of what I've done there. And yeah, overall the facilities are quite good. There's other stuff for smaller people if they want to go in the other smaller karts in a different track. This is why it's an S tier. A really, really, really amazing track. So, here's the track layout. Really, it just works really well. There's loads of different types of corners. You've got medium, you've got fast, you've got slow. So yeah, let's show you how it went with me basically in the car, and I'll show you a lap. So, here we go then. This was my first actual full clean flying lap run. Still quite far through. I was just getting used to the kart still. Just getting used to the track and sort of like the speed of it, I guess. And I guess the bumpy, like that, it bumps. So yeah. Of course, you're coming around here. I was not very quick, of course, because I wasn't familiar with the track. I didn't really know how to drive the Sodies. I'd never really driven any form of a Sodie kart before. So I was sort of understeering in some places. Later on in the race, I catch up to this guy in front of me, and I basically I would have gone so much quicker, but I was just stuck behind him at the end. But yeah, what I like about this track is it's just got a wide variety, which makes it really, really fun to race on. And eventually, by the time if I do a D-Max test soon, I can race in D-Maxes. So yeah, that basically was a lap as I come around the final corner. Yeah, crossing the line, trying to get a little bit of a slipstream at the end, but yeah, really nice. That's it then. Daytona has topped the charts in S tier, the only kart track to get there this year. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm going to show you the chart now. So yeah, here it is. As you can see, when you're going up, the ones on the right with the two stacked ones are below. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this one to find out what I thought of the tracks I went to this year. I'm sorry that I couldn't get in-kart footage for all of them, but I did the best I could, and I hope you've really enjoyed this one, guys, and have a great Christmas from me. Goodbye.